Hi, my name is Shain Wright, and I work here at Lower Columbia College as a retention specialist. AEW stands for Academic Early Warning. It's a system that we can use to identify students who are struggling academically early in the quarter. That list gets sent to myself and then other advisors around campus so that we can reach out to students and offer them support and resources. As an instructor, you have the opportunity to submit an alert for students in your classes multiple times throughout the quarter. I suggest submitting alerts 3 times a quarter. During these alerts, you can submit things like a student is not attending class, they're not submitting adequate work in their coursework, so they need help with actual content of the class, or maybe they're struggling with other resources like financial aid, and we can help get them connected that way too. Once you submit an alert, that report gets pulled a couple times each quarter. The list gets generated, emails automatically go out to students letting them know that an alert has been submitted, that their instructor is concerned about the progress in a course, and it offers them resources and it gives them my contact information so that we can start working on a plan for success for the rest of the quarter. Then that's followed up by a phone call from myself or other advisors asking kind of some questions to see what's going on for that student, what's causing them to be struggling in the classroom, do they need to explore options for withdrawing or switching out classes, or do they need other resources to help them be successful. We can range into connecting students within the community for housing resources or other things, but we primarily focus on academic issues. If we don't hear any response back from students after that automatic email and the phone calls, students may also receive a text message if they've agreed to previously receive those texts. And it's something simple, just lets them know that we want to check in, we want to support them, and then it gives more contact information. So the goal of AEW is to get them to talk with an advisor or their instructor. Our number one recommendation is always to go back to their instructor and ask more questions and see what they can do to kind of catch up in class or what they need to do in the future to make sure that they don't fall behind again. Some common questions that I get about academic early alerts are, should I still submit even if all of my students are doing fine? And to that I say yes, absolutely. The reason why is because when I pull a report, I compare each student for all of their classes. So when I call a student and I say, it looks like you're struggling in math, it's really helpful if I can see, oh, but you're doing great in English. So we know it's maybe more of a course content issue. It's about understanding the math material as opposed to my transportation isn't working, so I'm not attending any of my classes. So that little bit of information gives us a whole lot of insight into the students' concern or issues and how we can support them better. So through Academic Early Alerts, you also have the option to make specific notes about what's going on with your students. Please note your student doesn't see these notes, and that goes directly to myself or advisors who are making the phone calls. So if there's information that is, maybe you've talked to the student and you're submitting an alert just to give us a heads up in case they're coming up in another class is struggling, we'll see those notes, but if you write something like, "Dear student," they won't unfortunately see that specific note. It'd be better in an email directed to them. And then there's also an option to submit exceptional student alerts. And so this doesn't go out automatically. We pull this report and then we send them a beautiful email with an infographic of a trophy on it telling the student how well they're doing in their classes. And students really love these emails. They find it really valuable. They feel recognized, that their contributions in classrooms are really noticed. And I have multiple students who email me back or even come into the office and ask me, like, can you print off the certificate? And like, oh, it's just an email, but with a trophy on it. But people are really, really grateful to receive those as well. And so if you have any students that you feel are doing exceptional work, you can select that as well. You'll log into AEW using your username and password the same as instructor briefcase. And if you have any issues, so if your class isn't popping up, for example, you can give me an email or a call and I'd be happy to work with you to get that sorted out. You can find a user guide for Academic Early Alerts on our website, the faculty and staff website, under Advisor Tools. There's a link to the Academic Early Warning System, and below that is a user guide. It's a PDF. It has my contact information in it, has tips and tricks on how to log into AEW, some common questions in there as well about when you should submit, the dates are submitted or on that user guide, but I'll also send out a calendar invite to all faculty, reminding them to submit alerts 3 times a quarter. So my name is Shane once again, and I'm happy to support you. I think retention is really a campus-wide issue. It's not just a single person, and so my job as a retention specialist is really to support you as an instructor, supporting your students. And so any way that I can do that, I'm happy to help. Just give me a call or email or stop by my office in the Admissions Center, room 106.